crochet friends, and welcome back to Buffie.ann Crochet. Today we are going to work on a tutorial for this bag that I made, and some of you may have seen it already on my YouTube channel. So we're going to make this cute little spring or summer bag together with a zipper. And I think this is such a beautiful lining. We're going to make it together too. So let's get started and let's make this spring bag. Okay, so let's get started on the tutorial. The first thing that we want to do is make our front or back, whichever panel, they're going to be identical. We're going to make this panel to go with our bag. We're going to make two of these. I already have one made, so we are going to start right now to make this center section, and we are going to make a magic ring, and then we are going to make 8 of these clusters to go into the magic ring. So let's get started. To make your magic ring, wrap around. You're going to lay across your 4 fingers, wrap around 3 and cross in the front and grab with your pinky. Go under the first strand, pull the second strand through, twist, grab the back yarn and pull through that loop. And now you have a magic ring. Okay? So I kind of already have a chain here, so I just want to chain 2 more to make it 3 because that's how tall I want this to be. And now I'm going to form a cluster. So yarn over, go into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2. Do that again, yarn over, go into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2. Now that I have 3 loops on my hook, I want to pull through all 3 of those loops, and I'm going to chain 2. Let's make another cluster. Yarn over, into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you can see at this point I do have 3 loops on my hook, but this isn't what I'm wanting. This loop here is attached to this chain 2. I want 2 loops for the cluster. I want 3 loops for the cluster. At this point I only have 2 loops for the cluster. So let's do it one more time. Yarn over, into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I have 3 loops for the cluster, plus the loop for the chain 2. Yarn over and pull through all the loops and chain 2 and make another cluster. One, 2, 3, and pull through all the loops and chain 2. We want 8 of these. Right now we have 3. So go ahead and make 5 more, and I will meet you back to secure our circle. Okay, I have 8 clusters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After you make your 8th cluster, chain 2. And then you're going to fasten off at the top on the 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. You're going to push your hook through the center, grab the yarn, pull through, and you are going to slip stitch right there and bring it together. Okay, I am going to take the tail and I am going to pull this center closed. And if you cannot get it completely closed, when we finish and we get ready to sew in this tail, we can completely close that center at that time. Okay, so we have our center made. I want to slip stitch over to this chain 2 space because that's where I want to begin. So I'm going to go under these 2 loops, grab the yarn, and just slip stitch. And then I'm just going to go into this space, chain 2 space, and I'm going to slip stitch. So chain 3, and we are going to make 2 clusters. We're going to make a cluster, chain 2 cluster in this space. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We have our 3 loops, so yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. Chain 2. Yarn over into the space, pull through 2. Same space, you're in the same space. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 4 loops on your hook, but 3 of those go to the cluster and 1 goes to the chain. Now yarn over and pull through. Chain 2. So that you have just made your first corner. You have just made your first corner. Now, in the next chain 2 space, you are going to put 3 double crochet, not a cluster, just 3 double crochet. So that's yarn over, go into the space, yarn over, pull through 2, and this time you're going to pull through the next 2. There's your first double crochet. Yarn over into the space, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over into the space, pull through 2, pull through 2, and chain 2. So let me show you what we're doing. If you look at the completed, we have made this first corner here, and now we're going on to make these 3 double crochet. So you can see as you go around, you have 2 clusters make a corner, then 3 double crochet. 2 clusters make a corner, then 3 double crochet. So we're going to do that all the way around. So we've chained 2, and in the next chain 2 space, we're going to make 2 clusters. A cluster, chain 2 cluster. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So we should have 4 on our hook, but only 3 of them are for the cluster. Yarn over and pull through all of those. Chain 2. In the same space, because we're making our corner, make another cluster. Okay, again, you have 4 loops, but only 3 go to the cluster. But yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, chain 2. All right, as we move around, we will do 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3, and chain 2. We're back to another corner. So we will put a cluster, Oh, I put too many. Take one off. Did I? No, I didn't. I was correct. Let's put it back on. There's our cluster. And let's grab our yarn and let's pull through and chain 2. And let's do another cluster in the same space. This is how you make a corner. By chaining so many and doing the same thing and doing 2 of something in the same space, you make your corners. All right, chain 2. The next space we will do 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And let's make another corner. We got to chain 2 first, and now our corner. Cluster, pull through, chain 2, cluster in the same space. That's right. I think you've got it now. Yes, and pull through and chain 2. And exactly right, our last space will contain 3 double crochet, because right here we have 2 corners. So those 3 double crochet will go right here. The 3 double crochet end up being our sides for this round. Okay, so let's chain 2. And let's find that 1, 2, 3, third chain, push our hook through, grab the yarn, and we will slip stitch right there. Okay, let's look at this. Look what you have. You have made a square. Right here, you have 2 corners here, and you have 2 corners here. You have made this first round is what you have made, or the second round, I should say. This was our first round and our second round. We will have 7 rounds when we finish. Okay, so let's move on to round 3. I want to slip stitch to this next corner. Slip stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that corner. I'm going to chain 3, and since it is a corner, then you know already we're going to do a cluster, chain 2, cluster. So here we go. There's only 3 on the hook because at this point we are starting fresh and we do not have a chain 2 yet. So we only have 3 on the hook. Grab your yarn, pull through, chain 2. Now let's do our next cluster again, as you already know, in the same space. Grab your yarn, pull through 4, chain 2. Okay, let's look at this. We have a chain 2 space here where we will put 2 double crochet. We will double crochet on top of these 3, and then in this chain we will put 2, in this chain 2 space we will put 2 double crochet. So let's do that. In the chain space, the 2 chain space, double crochet, double crochet. Now on top of these 3 double crochet, right in these little V's, yarn over, push your yarn through, grab the yarn, double crochet. So there's 1. Let's do the next one. 2, and the next one. 3. Whoops. My hook slipped. There we go. Okay, and then in this chain 2 space we will double crochet. 1 and 2 in the 2 chain space. All right, once we have completed that side, we will chain 2. 1, 2, and we are going to work on a corner. So we will make a cluster, yarn over, pull through, chain 2. We will make another cluster, yarn over, pull through, chain 2. Okay, we are on the next side. And again, this side is exactly the same. We have 2 chain space, 3 double crochet, and a 2 chain space, which means we will do 2 double crochet. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and 2 double crochet. All right, yarn over, 2 double crochet. And we will double crochet on the top of each one of these, right into the V, right underneath these 2 stitches, yarn over, grab the yarn, pull through, double crochet. Again, right in on the top, right between these 2 stitches where it forms a V. Yarn over, double crochet, and their last one on top of the 3, that's our last one there. And then in this 2 chain space we will do 2 double crochet. There's 1 and there's 2, and we will chain 2 and turn. We are at a corner again, so we will do our clusters. There's 1 cluster, chain 2, another cluster in the same space, pull through and chain 2, and we're at another side. So here we go. Chain 2, we're going to do 2 double crochet in this chain 2 space. We are going to do 3 double crochet on top of these. Whoops. On top of these 3 double crochet. I don't know if I'm getting in a hurry. I do have this camera in an awkward position that I'm not used to, so that could be my reason. Okay, and then again in this chain space we will put 2 double crochet in this 2 chain space, and we will chain 2, and we will do our next corner. So let's cluster. Here we go. Chain 2. And we will cluster again in the same space to form that corner. Chain 2. Now we have 2 double crochet. We're going to put 2 double crochet in this 2 chain space. 1, 2, and then we will do 3 double crochet on the tops of each of these double crochets. Yes. Here we go, and we have 1 and 2, and we will chain 2, and we will find the top of the chain 3, and we will insert our hook, grab the yarn, and pull through. And I want to slip stitch to the corner, slip stitch, and then into the corner I'm going to slip stitch. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. I haven't spoken to you in a while. I've been very busy. I don't know how many moms are out there, but my daughter is 17 and we just had a beauty pageant, and this coming weekend we have prom. So we've been very busy, which is one reason I'm late to getting this tutorial out. But if you, busy moms, I know that it's hard to do everything you want to do. And I know that you understand when I'm slow getting a tutorial out. But so far we have completed round 1, round 2, and round 3. Okay, so we have 3 rounds. Let's move on to round 4. Let's chain 3. And let's do our cluster in the corner. Okay, we have our 3 loops on the hook. So yarn over and pull through. Now chain 2 and put another cluster in the same corner. 2 and 3 again. You have 4 loops on the hook, but remember, one of them is for the chain. Yarn over and pull through and chain 2. We're going to put 2 double crochet into this 2 chain space. Yarn over into the top of that first double crochet. We will put a double crochet, and the second double crochet we will put another double crochet. Now remember, we are on the 4th round, so we have more than just 3 double crochet that we have to crochet on top of. This time we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochet to crochet across, plus we put 2 in the chain space on both sides. So let's go on across in the top, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and double crochet. And there we are. And now do 2 in the chain 2 space. 1, 2, chain 2. Again, we're at a corner, so we will do our cluster. This is really a therapeutic motif to make because it's so repetitive. I do find crochet to be therapeutic for me. I'm sure some of you all do as well, if not all of you. But this is a pretty motif, and it is, like I said, it is therapeutic to make. Okay, so I have made my corner with the 2 clusters and the chain 2. Then I chain 2 and I put 2 double crochet in this chain 2 space. And I am going to double crochet on the top of each one of these. So yarn over, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. And I'm sure you have figured out the more rounds we do, the more double crochet we have to put on top of the row before it. Okay, so now we're at the chain 2 space, so we put 2 double crochet. Now, we will always be adding it will be more double crochet on top of each one because we're adding as we go. But it's always only 2 in your 2 chain space. Now let's chain 2. And we are going to go to our corner and we are going to cluster. And chain 2 and cluster in the same space. And chain 2. We are going to 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space. And we are going to double crochet on the tops of each one of these double crochet. Today is Sunday. I don't know what day that I will have this video posted, but today that I am working on this with you is Sunday. And we went to church this morning. We had a great service. We have a wonderful pastor and congregation. Just a wonderful service this morning. Okay, so now we have finished our double crochet. Now we put 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space. 1 and 2 and chain 2, and we're back to a corner. Yarn over and do the cluster. I feel like it's a dance. Do the cluster. Okay, yarn over, pull through. Guess it is a dance. It's a crochet dance. Yarn over and we will cluster into the same space. And chain 2. See, we are growing. It's getting larger. And you can see that we're on our last side here. So we've chained 2 and we're going to put 2 double crochet in this chain 2 space. And then we are going to double crochet on the tops of each double crochet. I want to tell you all how tickled I was and how it just touched my heart that there were so many viewers on the last tutorial. I want to thank you all very much for viewing, and if you liked and subscribed, thank you. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, if you did like it, please do. Please like and subscribe. The comments, I enjoyed talking with you all. It was wonderful. Okay, so I finished the double crochet and I chained 2. And I put 2 double crochet in the chain 2. So chain 2, and we will connect these into the 3rd chain. We will do a slip stitch, and I want to slip stitch into the next corner. There we go. Isn't that working out nicely? You can see how it is growing, and it will soon be as large as this one. So this large one has 7 rounds. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. So we have 3 more rounds to go. I'm going to let you go ahead and finish that. I'll start you off on this first 2 corners inside, and then I will meet you at the 7th round. Let's chain 3, yarn over, make your cluster, chain 2, yarn over into the same space, make your cluster, chain 2, yarn over, 2 double crochet, in this chain 2 space, and then we will double crochet on the tops of each one. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you'll have 11 plus 2 more. Double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. I love this pattern. It's just nice to do, and I think it makes a beautiful motif. And I think it makes, when joined together to make the summer bag, I think it looks really nice. Spring, summer, it could be for either one. Okay, so I did the chain 2 in the chain 2 space. Now I'm going to I did the 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space. Now I chain 2, and we will do the corner, cluster, chain 2, and the next corner cluster. Well, it's the same corner, but it's the next cluster in this corner. Chain 2. Okay, so you are going to now double crochet in this chain 2 space. You will double crochet all the way across the tops of these double crochet. Then you will 2 double crochet here, and then you'll do your corner. You'll turn your work. You will continue doing the same thing. 2 corners, double crochets in each of these chain 2 spaces, and you will double crochet on top. And you will do this. You are getting ready to start 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th round. So once you do this 5th round, you have 2 more rounds of the same thing. And once you get this round and 2 more rounds done, I will meet you back. Okay, so we should be at our 7th round. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is our 7th round. So let's close this up. Double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, pull some more yarn out, and we're going to double crochet, double crochet, and we're going to do our 2 double crochet into this space. 1, 2, and now we're going to close off. We will chain 2 and close. So put your yarn into the 3rd chain, push your hook through, grab the yarn, pull through, and I'm going to slip stitch, and I'm just going to pull my yarn. But first I will have to fasten off. Okay, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the yarn about here, and I'm going to pull the yarn on through, and I'm going to pull it tight. And I know this varies between crocheters, but I like to make a little knot also. Just my preference. It's not something you have to do. All right, so now we have our 2nd motif for our bag. Nice. let me first sew in my ends. So let me get one of my, I like the metal ones better than the plastic ones. My metal ones have a larger eye on them. So I'm just going to turn this over, and I'm going to thread the needle. Pull it through. And now, I think I want to go this way. I'm just going to take my needle and go up and over. I'm going to go under and over, under and over. Just a few strands, and I'm going to pull through. And then I'm going to go back and do it the opposite. Over and under, over and under. It doesn't have to be perfect, and the good thing is we're working with a solid color, so if it shows through on the other side, it's only going to show through the same color. And I'm going to do it one more time to make it 3 times to hopefully hold this tight, because since this is going to be a bag that will be carried, then it will probably get dirty and need washed. So I'm going to snip my yarn right there at the end, and you shouldn't even be able to tell. I also have to do this first tail that we had. Let me pull that tight because I want that center to close, so I pulled it really tight. I am going to make another knot right there just to hold that. And now I am going to thread my needle. I like to thread my needle by just turning the end over and pushing that through the eye. It's easier for me. It may not be easier for you, so do what. There's no right or wrong way as long as you get threaded. Now I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to go under and over, under and over, and pull it through. And I'm going to come back and do it again. And one more time. There we go. For a total of 3 times. And I'm going to snip the yarn. And there we have it. Okay, now we have 2 sides made. And we're going to join these together. Now, right now they are both on the front. So if I join them together this way, then we will see the stitching. So what we can do, and what I did on the original purse that I had, I put the 2 fronts together. And that way, once I stitched these sides, I stitched the bottom and I stitched the sides. Of course, I left the top open. Then I just turned it inside out. And that way you have a nice edging. I'll show you on this purse. That way your seam doesn't show through, because here you can see where the seam is, but it's mostly on the inside, and that's all the way around. Okay, so we have our 2 fronts together. Now let's start joining these. Okay, so I will get my yarn, and I'm going to make a slip knot. I just wrap it around my finger, and I pull the the back loop over the front loop, and the now back loop over the front loop and my finger. And there's my slip knot. I'll put my my hook in, and we're ready to go. At this point though, I'm going to take my hook out. I want to leave my slip knot, and I'm going to take my hook out. I want to find my corner where I did the 2 clustered 2 chain corner and the 2 clustered 2 chain corner right here. I want to put them together. I'm going to put my hook in. Now I'm going to put the slip knot over, and I'm just going to pull that tighter. And I'm going to pull through, and I'm going to slip stitch. Okay? And I am going to find my corresponding tops of my double crochets, and I am going to put the hook through the first 2 on this one and the second 2. I'm going to grab the yarn, pull through, and I'm going to single crochet. Okay, we're going to do this all the way across. Just line up your double crochets and make sure you put your hook in 2 and over here in the top 2, all the way across. Grab your yarn, pull through, double crochet. Again. Now in this case, I went into this space and I did not go into the tops of the double crochet. It's okay, you can do it either way. You just want to keep it neat and lined up as you go. And make sure you always grab the same on both sides. Into these first 2 and into these first 2. And there you go. Awesome. I hope you've had a wonderful day. And you're going to do this all the way across. All the way across, and I will meet you at the end where you will we will meet up again at the corner of your cluster 2 chain, cluster 2 chain. We will meet there. Okay, now we are at our cluster 2 chain cluster, and the other side cluster 2 chain cluster. We will insert our hook, grab the yarn, pull through, and we will do a single crochet. All right, so let's turn our work. And let's do the same thing again. We will put our hook in the first double crochet, the top, and then of the neck of the second, or the back one, we're going to put into both. So underneath these 2, and then underneath the 2 on the next one, grab the yarn, pull through, and single crochet. I'm going to go through the chain space here and just single crochet, and through the 2 double crochets, 1 on each front and back. And again, we'll do that all the way across, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, we have made it to the first space, and then we're going to double crochet. We're going to single crochet into the tops of these 2 double crochet, and we are almost, yes, we're here at the cluster, chain 2 cluster, cluster, chain 2 cluster. So we'll go into that chain 2 space and we will single crochet. Okay, so we have 2 sides, so we have one more side. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go into the tops of these double crochet. Can be a little tight sometimes at the corners. Just make sure that you have everything lined up and it will turn out just fine. So double crochet, single crochet. We're going into the tops of these 2 double crochet. And into the chain space of the between the double crochets. And then just continue right along and I will meet you again at the end. Okay, so here we are. We're at our cluster 2 chain cluster and cluster 2 chain cluster on the other side. So we put our hook through that 2 chain, grab the yarn and do a single crochet. Now we can pull the yarn through. I'm going to cut the yarn, pull it all the way through, and again, pull that tight. And like I said before, some people do not want to put a knot there. Some people do. I choose to. Okay, so now we have our opening. And this is where we will put our zipper and we will put our liner in here. But first, let's sew in these ends. And then we will turn the bag so that it's not inside out. But I want to sew the ends in before we do that because I want the sewing of the ends to be on the inside of the bag. I mean, it probably wouldn't show through, but I just think that's just what I prefer. You can do it however you want. So again, we just kind of go over and under. I try to do it about 3 times. You can do it more if you want. 3 times kind of gets it tight. And like I said, this bag is going to be used, so it will probably get dirty and will need washed. Okay, so I'm going to cut that right next to our creation. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to sew in this end quickly, just in and out. In and out, in and out, in and out. There we go. And one more time. Some people even use fabric glue to help secure. I have. So it just depends on what I'm making. If I want to put any fabric glue there to hold that tighter, I'm not in this case. Okay, so we have sewn in our ends. We have cut them off. And now we have our little bag. I'm going to turn it so the front sides are facing. Well, before I do that, let's look. You can see how the ends are now. The edges, the seam. The way we did it, it protrudes, it sticks out. So if we turn it to where the front sides are now facing us, you can see how much cleaner that looks. It's a nice, cleaner seam line than if you did it on the outside. Well, let's measure this and let's see how large this is. So from edge to edge, this is about 8 inches by 8 inches. So we did pretty good getting this square. And you can make, this is only 7 rounds. You know, this could keep going. You could make this as big as you wanted, or you could make it a little smaller. But the one that I made was 7 rounds, and so I made this one 7 rounds as well. Okay, so this is going to be our first part of our bag making. I am going, since this video is now uploaded, I am working on the next video, which will show you how to add your zipper and add your lining, and we will put the strap on our bag. So I hope everyone does well and gets to this point, and then we will do our zipper and our liner. One thing I want to tell you, so you can have everything ready if that's what you want to do. This is the zipper I am using. I'm using a white, and it's a 9-inch zipper. I just bought this at Walmart. It says it's polyester. It says it's an all-purpose zipper, strong, durable, flexible, split-resistant coil. So 9-inch zipper is what I bought. I believe the size they had that was under this was 7 inches, so that was going to be too short. But 9 inches is what I used on this bag, and it worked well. Looks nice. So that's what I'm using on this one. So if you want to get to this point and have your materials ready, again, the fabric is up to you. I bought this fabric also at Walmart. I just thought it was pretty and colorful to go on the inside. You choose your fabric and have that ready, and we will get everything attached, and we will complete our bag in the next video. So thank you all for watching. I can't wait for us to complete our bag together. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you soon. Goodbye from Buffie and Crochet.